This is LASOS, that's Los Angeles Strategies or Solutions, from the West Hollywood Project, which is part of the Institute for Public Strategies. Today's guest is Timothy Zembeck of Being Alive, an HIV service organization in West Hollywood that also operates a needle exchange program. Timothy will discuss the concept of harm reduction.
We realize that people are going to use drugs no matter what. So we step in and we say, if you're going to use drugs, then here is the way, here are the steps you need to take so that you're going to minimize or reduce the harms that can come to you. So, somebody who might be using needles, we might talk about, well, maybe not use needles, maybe smoke it instead. Because therefore they're not poking a hole in their body, which is opening up the body to have disease come in. So the other thing about a needle exchange is that it costs very little to run a needle exchange, but one person getting HIV can cost, the taxpayers, if they're not well insured, upwards of $120,000, $160,000 a year. We can run a needle exchange for basically $20 to $30 a person for a year. Needle exchanges and harm reduction have been used all over the world. They have great success in Europe. And it's only recently, that they are really being utilized here in the States. So by getting dirty needles off the street, we are preventing people, if somebody were to drop one on the sidewalk or in a park, the potential is there for somebody to step on one, or an animal to get stuck with it, or your kid to get stuck with it. By having a place for somebody to come and drop off their dirty needles, or their used needles, we can then dispose of them properly the way a medical facility would do. I tell people that I don't really care what you do, but here's the way you can protect yourself and those around you. So again, when I first started doing this, I thought, well, we were just going to be exchanging dirty needles for clean needles. I didn't realize that in addition, I was going to be giving them a container, what we call a sharps container, for them to collect those dirty needles in. I was going to be giving them alcohol wipes to clean, so that they can clean off their arm before they put the needle into it. I was going to be giving them the tourniquets, the sterile water to mix with the drugs so that they're not using, bottled water. I also have the fentanyl test strips so that people can test their drug supply to see if there's fentanyl in it, because right now that is causing the biggest number of overdoses. I also have available Narcan, which is the prescription medication to help reverse an opioid overdose. One of the things is we are also, in addition to the immediate need of providing the clean needles for people, we also have referrals, and we have people that join us during the exchange that can get them into detox and into treatment programs. And more often than not, a participant at a needle exchange will get into some sort of treatment. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at least that seed is planted with them. And then they know they have someone that they can trust. So when our participants come by and see us, usually they stop and go, well, what are you doing? And we tell them. And, so the reactions are mixed. I would say 95% of them are positive. It might be, oh, I'm not, that's not for me, but I'm so glad that you're here. or I'm sober now, but I really relied on one of these when I was using. Um, and even some of the people who are like, yeah, don't you think you're promoting drug use? After we have engage and have this conversation with them, we find out that they understand why we're there. We're not necessarily just accepting needles from people who use IV drugs. Anyone who uses needles, so insulin, steroids, hormones, pet meds. If you've got a pet that's got insulin, you can bring those used needles to us. Or if you got an EpiPen or something like that, you can bring those to us and we will dispose of them properly for you.
Thanks for watching LASOS, and remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.